Good morning.
Good morning.
I do not know how long ago the adventure began, but it certainly is underway right now. You can feel it in the atmosphere. When you get quiet, you can feel it within yourself. That something is changing, something is happening, and it's a good happening. Consider that we are still experiencing the effects of Michelangelo, Copernicus, Einstein, Tesla. We think of ourselves as different, or we think of them as different from ourselves. But in reality, we share some very wonderful likenesses. And perhaps you haven't noticed them in yourself, although you've probably experienced them. The opportunity to go even deeper in the experience is pressing itself upon us in our lives right now. Now, all of these we can look and say, genius. They were able to experience things that perhaps we wish we could. They brought forth things that have benefited humanity and are continuing to do so. So if we look at genius, we see that obviously it's something different than what we're used to experiencing life through. A universal quality of genius is humility. Maybe that's one of the reasons why more of the world isn't experiencing it right now. We're so challenged that we can't find it a possibility to be humble. But then again, if we pay attention to those moments when we suddenly have these brilliant ideas or these decisions that we made, and we were able to say exactly the right thing at the right time, and yet not know quite how it happened or why it happened, instead of passing it off, look again and see that you had an experience with a different inner reality. Genius is will-free knowledge. Okay, not free will. Will-free. We look at this and we say, okay, what are we talking about here? We're talking about allowing ourselves to enter into a state where we get beyond trying to think the answer through. Which, just for a shift, I was hearkening back to a time we had at the ranch when you were teaching a sculpture class, Aaron. Yeah. And I looked out the window, and here were all of these people who never had sculptured before, and they had this chunk in front of them. And they had, they were ready. They had the gloves, they had the hammers, the chisels, they had the files, they had everything to go. But the important thing was, they were encouraged by their instructor to be free of will and let whatever was to come through you so that it would reveal itself in what you would call your sculpture. Really good instruction. And if you're listening, I'm instructing you now the same way for the same considerations. You see, we are creators whether we realize it or not. And if we can get beyond what we have deemed necessary in order to create, and that is we have to think it through in order to get it right, instead open ourselves to a higher power that isn't outside of us, it's in us. Call it the God within. Call it your contact point to source. Call it whatever you will. But this is what I'm talking about, of reaching that place of realizing I of myself can do nothing. It is the power within me that when I become at one with it, whether it is called reaching a place of conscious at one-ment, Christ consciousness, whatever. When I reach that place of at-one-ment, then I allow myself to be receptive to it, and it then is able to speak through me. It is able to reach through me. It is able to act through me. So that then you're experiencing will-free knowledge when it flows. Genius is the highest form of will-free knowledge. It is will-less. Those who are humble and are grateful for the illumination that they receive, they tend to have a capacity to access this that is called genius. And stop for a moment now. Look at this. Gratitude, humility. These are qualities that all of us have within ourselves, but not necessarily brought forth by our society as being of ultimate value. This is something for you to determine in yourself if you wish to have this awakening occur within you. Somehow or another, I think awakening has escaped a lot of people in thinking that awakening is going to make them famous, going to make them rich, going to make them important, going to make them powerful. When those who we look at who have reached this place of being called genius, they say, hey, this isn't of me. There's a higher power that works through me. I can't really take credit for it. I can say that I'm in the right place at the right time, but I just simply make myself available. And then it is the one that does the works. I can of my own self do nothing. But when I raise my consciousness, when I become at one with Source within, then I am lifted up to and in that consciousness. And as I am at one with it, I can and I do draw all manifestations of that consciousness to me, to my life. They become visible manifestations that are confirmation as to the state of consciousness I am living in the moment. Do not think that this is beyond you, because it is really making reference to who you truly are. We all have had these moments, and if we open ourselves to it, we can begin to experience the awakening at a much deeper level. Because genius resides in you. It resides in you and you. It resides in me. It resides within all of us. But so very few of us ever even believe it's possible for us, let alone take the next step and bring our belief to a place of trusting, having a confidence, having a connection, opening ourselves up to this that has always resided with us, in us, and will always be, that some call the higher self, that is awaiting our recognition. And when we recognize it, then we start forming a partnership with it. We start forming a relationship with it, that it then can bring forth its abilities in such a natural way that to us seem to be supernatural. It is time for us to waken up. It is time for us to bring forth who we are and allow it to be at ease in its development. Genius. It is, in a way, feeling the deep undertow of power that's stirring within. Hence why I am suggesting that you give yourself permission to launch out into deeper waters. Get out of your self-contained misery. Open up that you can experience who you truly are. And in that find that thy will be done is not a submission at all. But when you claim it from that recognition, thy will be done is a freedom. It's a freedom that you have been yearning for, looking for, hoping for. And it is coming to you if you will bring yourself to it and allow the one within to be recognized more fully by you than you have to this point. So that you see what you're doing and what is happening in you is you are experiencing a change of perception about you and about your relationship to life, about you and about your recognition of the invisible, about you and your ability to see that all of this that is about us, that seems to be so solid, is really just waiting for your recognition. And it will reveal to you the change of perception that you're undergoing. And while others may say, it's genius, you'll look again and say, hey, it's just me finally relaxing, getting out of the way, and allowing the higher power that is in me, that's always been there, to come forth, so that I can say, as another said before me, I and my Father are one. Launch out. Thank you. For more information about the Metaphysical Church of Enlightenment or the Rodin Foundation, please go to our website at www.rodin.org. If you have been inspired by the revelations shared in these podcasts, please donate to the Rodin Foundation's ongoing efforts to help others help themselves at www.rodin.org/donate.